Welcome everybody at yet another investor webinar organized by Symbit in order to show you a little bit more of the entrepreneurs which are currently active at our Symbit website and try to raise funds for their enterprise. Tonight we are going to present you the entrepreneur of Unitiator, which is called Marcio Leijten. He will explain you a little bit more about his current funding campaign at our Symbit website. He's currently raising 47,000 euros and is at almost 80% by now, 79 to be precise. And he will explain you more about the concept itself, the ID, and of course you will have the possibility to ask questions to Marcio about everything you want and about the investor proposition. Make sure to have to look into the Q&A app in order to ask the questions. You will be able to ask live questions. If you are not in time with submitting your questions, of course you can always ask them on the Symbit website. Go to symbit.nl or symbit.com and there you can find the pitch of Unitiator and you always have the possibility to ask questions. I will now give the word to Marcio, who will explain you more about the concept itself and what his drive is to have started Unitiator. So Marcio, please take the floor and explain a little bit more about the concept.
Thank you very much, Robin. It's always nice to hear someone speaking about my company. I'm going to start explaining the concept, the idea itself. This came up after observing a problem that actually the problem was then confirmed by managers and owners of restaurants. And this problem is that empty venues repel customers. So this is a thing that everyone figure out at a certain point in time by simply walking in front of two restaurants. One has 10 people, one is empty. Consciously or unconsciously, we tend to choose the one that has people. It's evaluated in a social way. So we came up with, okay, let's break this cycle of being empty because it's empty. Let's break it. So Unitiator is building a smartphone application that a restaurant manager can jumpstart their activity at any point in time throughout the day. So basically, by just bringing 10 people in half an hour, you need 10 people in half an hour, you bring 10 people in half an hour, you just need to give offers. And when I say offers, it's always for free. So no discounts, no small letters with tricky conditions, nothing like that. So it's for free because it's a fair trade, fair relationship there. One gives their establishment, their space, their offers, and the other one gives their time, presence, and collaboration. So basically, it's a relationship that it's a win-win situation. In the end, it's pioneers attracting followers, and these followers are the real customers, and ultimately are the real customers of the establishment. The people that are passing by and feel attracted by the users of the app that were attracted to there. How does Unitiator makes money? So basically by charging a fee, a subscription for a period of time, so 3 months, 6 months to a year long, in which the venues can use this product, can activate, jumpstart their activity at any time throughout the day, unlimited times. This is the main source of revenue. There are some others, but for now I'm going to focus on this one. About the team that is building this, is making the Unitiator a real company and the product. It's myself as manager, general manager, and Fabio. We constitute the managerial team. Myself, I have experience in procurement as a consultant. I have as a manager throughout the years. So I believe with the strong attitude that I bring with entrepreneurial spirit and experience also, I can bring a really added value to this. I really believe on the idea, so it's not something that I'm just making for money itself. It's more altruist than that, and we can explain later. Other than that, at the same time, we are meeting with potential working partners right now. So Dutch people that fit the profile of bringing expertise in marketing and sales. So we are exciting these next few weeks to have them on board. Along with that, we are lucky enough to have experts in different areas to support us in our advisory board, different areas of expertise, each of them with more than 10 years experience. So whenever we have to take important decisions, we ask them their opinions, educated opinions. Company was created in November, and in November itself, and before and in November, we did a market research with the managers and owners of restaurants, cafeterias, bars. We concluded from that market research that there's receptivity itself. So they acknowledged the situation, the problem, and they showed interest to be customers of this new product. And next month will be launched the beta version of the product, and 1 month later the official launch to the public. In terms of return on investment for you, you can have it through share of profits or selling your share in a later stage of the development of the company, when you can multiply your return several times. There's a lot more to say about Unitiator, but for now I pass to Robin for further questions. Thank you. Robin?
Thank you very much, Marcio, by explaining the concept of Unitiator a little bit more. I think it's clear why you came up with the idea. For now, for the viewers, you are all able to supply questions to the Q&A app, which is in Google Hangouts. You can open the Q&A app, add your questions for Marcio, and then I will facilitate the questions towards Marcio. I saw that the first question already came in, so let's start off with that one. And that's a question about the scalability of the business model. How scalable is the app and the business model now at the moment, Marcio?
That's a very good question, because indeed it's one of the main attractions of the company for investors. So when I say investors, I say the crowdfunding investors and bigger investments we are already talking with. The scalability, it can be measured, or the potential scalability can be divided in several ways. So one is just to go from city to city, country to country. It's as easy as having it translated in the home language and have a salesperson in that particular city and a marketing campaign. So the product itself can be used in any city, any country. It's just to make it awareness in that particular city. Another factor of scalability is to move to other areas. Speaking about restaurants, cafeterias, but theoretically, this ultimately is bringing pioneers to attract followers. So it's people on demand. So you can use for events, for other kind of stores, if you need to jumpstart an activity. So the potential is very big.
Thank you very much for explaining that, Marcio. Maybe also something about, at the one side, I do get that you have the venues who will generate some revenue, but you will also need to attract a really large user base, of course. Can you tell a little bit more about the strategy you are striving for attracting users for the app?
Yeah, there's a big difference between Unitiator and other companies. Other companies that have apps. So other companies try to get the most users they can get. Here, ironically, is not like that. Of course, is needed a critical mass of users to be able to accept the offers itself. But there's a difference here. Theoretically, from certain point, if we have like the limit in terms of customers in one city, there's no point of having too many users for that city. Let's say Rotterdam, limit of 80 venues. we need, let's say, 600 users. To have 2,000 users is not, there's no point. So some strategies can pass for marketing, social media marketing, to other strategies like sponsoring events of students. Students would be the easiest targets in terms of accepting and in terms of being involved on it, of course. So basically, social media and sponsoring events would be the strategies for the users.
Thank you, Marcio. And I think clear channels to reach out to users. I see we have another question about the location of the company. So where's the company based now at the current moment?
Yeah, it's a nice question because the company, of course, the headquarters is in Rotterdam, where I live. We intend to go to CIC. It's a well-known incubator, worldwide, actually American. The first office they are opening outside the United States is in Rotterdam. So in a few months, we intend to move our headquarters there, because now the company is still in formation, not needing a place right now, exactly right now. So in a few months, we intend to move there and to take advantage of their network of investors, of knowledge, of success examples they have already. So we will move to CIC.
Thank you, Marcio. It's also a nice venue, CIC, I guess. A little bit more about yourself, maybe, because we also get a question about what's your driver, why you want to start Unitiator, and why are you with the team then the person who are going to make this towards a success?
I was hoping to not have to answer to that question. It's not easy to speak about ourselves. But basically, I'm driven towards a sharing economy, collaborative consumption. I decided to study economics because of to find ways to solve problems of society, to make a society better in a social way. And I found Unitiator a good match on this, that we can match from one side, give for the first time value to the time of users that can just be lazy at their couch, on their couches at home, and all of a sudden we create value to that time. They can afford, they can have access to offers because someone is valuing their time. So we are here matching two needs in a way that makes it better for both sides. There's an important factor here that motivates me a lot, that is the reduction of food waste. In the last hour of a restaurant, they can use Unitiator, not this time to try to create the social validation effect. This time is they have extra food they are going to throw away or they can't cook the next day. Why not give it as an offer? So they have the chance to show someone the product, and we are reducing the food waste, and someone doesn't need to cook at home.
Thank you very much, Marcio, for answering that question. We already got a new question by our crowd, who is really curious about the testing you already have done so far. So the question says, please elaborate a bit on testing you have done so far, any beta clients, client testing, etc. So can you maybe elaborate a bit on that?
Yes, gladly. So before starting a business plan or before advancing on the creation of the company, of course, we had the idea of, okay, this works. But then, of course, has to be validated by the real customers in the future. So we approach around 50 restaurants and cafes, bars in the area of Rotterdam, The Hague, and Amsterdam. And with that conclusion, with that research, we did questions. We learned a lot. Like the approaches itself, the way that we have to approach is very tricky. But bottom line, when we narrow it down to the profile of customer that suits better the product of Unitiator, that is like an establishment that opened last 2 years, that don't have yet the clientele enough. When we narrow it down to that, the acceptation levels are very high. When I say acceptation levels, I say they are willing to pay to have the product. So it's not just, yeah, we would love to have people. No, okay, we are willing to pay to have that option because they see it as an investment, the way they invest in publicity, the same thing. So the bottom line conclusion was that there's acceptation. Of course, the sample is not big. Talking about 50, talking about having 10 right now on board, showing interest in having this product whenever it's launched in 2 months, 1 month beta test. But of course, it's a small sample. But we just extrapolated to have an idea, of course.
Thank you very much for explaining that. I hope the question of the viewers answered at the moment. If not, there's always, of course, the possibility to also elaborate on the question on our Symbit website itself by going to symbit.nl and there check out the page of Unitiator, where you can also find a lot of details about the concept. I see we get in another question. There were 50 potential clients tested. It is probably the owner that needs to make the decision. Will he or she be the one sending out the offer? So the question is actually, Marcio, to you, that there were 50 potential clients who were tested, and the one who needs to make the decision are you. So will you be sending out the offer?
Yeah, as I understood from the question, they're asking if the owner will be the one activating it, giving the offers. Yep. So the way it works is simple. If they are empty, they have time for that. So it takes 10 seconds to post an offer. So basically, when I say owner, manager, supervisor, anyone that is there responsible for the venue, and it's empty, they need to jumpstart their activity. They just go there and make the offers. They expect to create several effects, and I'm going to be fast on this. So basically, the users can consume something else than the offer itself. There's a chance they bring someone along. Meanwhile, someone calls and joins and consumes. Then the social validation by attracting passerbys, and the medium-term effect as well of the mouth-to-mouth and themselves, these characters, to return as real customers.
Thank you for answering that, Marcio. I think it was a clear explanation about who will give the offer and how it works. Well, we are actually already 15 minutes on our way, so I would like to give you one last chance to tell people why they need to invest in Unitiator at this moment. I also get a reaction from the viewer who asked the question that it was very insightful. Excellent answer. So that's a good thing for you, Marcio. Well, I give you the last sentence in order to attract the investors and tell them why they should join Unitiator at this moment.
Okay, so let's go for it. Why should you invest in Unitiator? We have a solution to a real problem that was identified. We have a unique approach. So there's no company in the world, to my knowledge, that is having this approach. Other companies do different things. This approach, it's for the first time Unitiator having it, and the timing is the perfect timing. On all human history, it was not possible to have Unitiator, only now. And in the future, we'll have some similar approaches to this. So the timing is very important. The company itself, very low fixed costs and very high scalability. So I'm really confident that you'll multiply your investment.
Clear story. Thank you very much. And with that, I think we are at the end of the investor webinar now at the moment. Thanks all 20 investors who tuned in live during the session and also facilitated us with some nice questions, which you answered perfectly, Marcio. Of course, I want to remember everybody that it's still possible to invest at the Symbit website. Go to symbit.nl or .com and find the pitch of Unitiator. There you can also find more details, and you are still able to become a co-owner of Unitiator. Thanks, of course, Marcio, for explaining it really well, the concept of Unitiator. And thank you for your enthusiasm. I hope that people know a little bit more about you and about the idea. And I would love to thank you for this. And of course, invite people to watch the next webinar again. Marcio, for you, the last word to thank all the viewers, and then afterwards we will answer all questions at our platform on the Symbit website.
Okay, thank you, Robin, for the last word, I believe. I just want to say that thank you for being here. This video will be spread out, I hope. The campaign is finishing, so this is the last chance for you to come along. So I ask you to join us and follow the growth of the company. That's it.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for watching, and see you next time at the next investor webinar of Symbit. Thanks, and have a nice evening.
Bye.